Welcome to Going Dark, a podcast about Netflix's sci-fi series, Dark. I'm Dan.
I'm Olga, and today we are discussing Dark Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8.
So if you haven't seen it, we are recording episodes 205 to 208 all as one chunk, but breaking it in two. So we talked a little bit about these episodes in the first half, but this is our real focus on our recaps on 207 and 208. Basically, let's just get right into it and talk about 207.
Yeah. If you do want our full thoughts on this back half of Season 2, make sure to listen to the previous episode.
Yeah, which I will link to everywhere around, all around. All right. So 207 is a doozy. And I'm scrolling, and here we are. 207, the White Devil. Ooh. I do like this whole White Devil thing. It's a cool reveal that I didn't see coming. So Hannah steals Jonas's time machine and goes to the 50s. She visits Ulrich in prison, and when he doesn't convince her that he loves her, she leaves him there like a hoe. She decides to start a new life in the 50s and flirts with Egon.
Hannah. Ultimate villain of the show. I just
Evil.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with her.
This is the most hateable person in the world. Oh,
you wanted
so
your
bad.
friend's boyfriend. You finally got him. He didn't love you. You mock him. You torture him with your withdrawal but you're a woman, the ultimate woman scorned, but also she created her own scorning.
Yep.
I don't I mean, again, should Ulrich have cheated on Katarina? No, but
I think he suffered enough though.
yeah, he has. And Hannah, you monster.
Yep.
Your son gives you word, your son who was missing comes back and he doesn't love you the right way and he hurts your feelings and you just
I'm out of here. Yeah. The 50s sound great. They're great for women. Who doesn't love going back to the 50s when I don't have any money that will probably work there? I mean, hateable to an insane degree.
That was a horrifying scene to watch. And this is, again, kind of the prequel problem because we know that Ulrich isn't going to be saved.
But it was still, it didn't matter.
Exactly. Because because the way in which she abandons him there is just so and cruel. It's so cruel that you're just a part of me was just oh, she's going to try and fail and something with this, suitcase time machine, she won't be able to succeed, and then she'll give up or something. Something will happen. I didn't want it to be her agency for her to be this awful.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, part of me is sad that we saw old Ulrich before this scene existed. If we didn't know what happened to him,
right,
and then she did that, it would have been even a bigger deal.
Yeah.
But still, but in some ways, it also helps that we saw old Ulrich, because we see how long he was there, and that he gets to finally see Mikkel and gets taken away from that again. The tragedy
of Ulrich's life is nothing to be trifled with.
Nope.
God, Hannah.
So one thing I did want to talk about is the Egon flirtation thing. Do you think there's any possibility that the wife we keep hearing about that left him is Hannah?
I doubt it.
Maybe they're trying to make it seem this whole time like it's Dottie, or I think that's her name, Dorothy, something like that. But maybe he leaves her because or it's a mutual split and it happens now, and then the thing that he's really upset about in the 80s is Hannah.
Right. So we have Agnes, who's Noah's sister, right? And she's the one who's, sleeping with Egon's wife. But then she returns to Adam.
Yep.
So that means that maybe Hannah and Dorothy, they go off together. That Hannah takes Egon's wife.
Maybe.
But she's screw men.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
That's my theory, is that the wife we keep hearing about that left him is Hannah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, because otherwise, why are you setting up that relationship? And also, what's Hannah gonna do?
That's a great question.
I mean, a lot of these, it's interesting the things that we get left hanging time travel wise, given the fact that it seems like we're just going to go into multiverse world. But I am definitely interested in what happens with Hannah.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
In the 50s, Egon investigates Claudia's death and wonders if she's Ulrich's accomplice. Helga calls her the White Devil. Ooh, maybe that will come back. In the 80s, Claudia tries to save her dad, but accidentally kills him. And he calls her the White Devil. It came back. This was a sacrifice to save Regina. She's sad, but then Jonas shows up and he's like, I've been training with old Claudia. Now I will train you, young Claudia. It's a cycle.
Yeah. So she wouldn't be old Claudia without young Claudia being saved by Jonas, who's trained by old Claudia. Okay.
Don't think about it too much.
But the fact that Jonas like walks in there and he's just like so deadpan and cold, and it's just like...
I like it. It's a good moment.
I like it too, especially given the most recent tragedy of him also having to sacrifice his own father. It's just mean. It's mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's so they can relate, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing of Egon dying like this, sad. Yeah. I guess that's all I got for it.
I mean, I thought it was very like Macbeth. Where she's like, scrubbing the blood off her hands. And
she tried so hard, but
it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. Nothing is ever enough.
No.
Meanwhile, Marta finally meets middle-aged Jonas, and he's a toodle creeper. And she's like kind of into it at first, but then Grandma shows up and cock blocks him. Katarina's like, no incest for you. He's an old, creepy incest man.
He's your old nephew.
Later, Katarina tells Marta and Magnus everything, and they give her the time machine, but they don't immediately go to Bartosz to figure out how to use it.
This scene bothered the crap out of me, because she's just like, oh, time machine, I take. And they're just like, oh no, she took it. She doesn't know how to use it. Yeah. They don't explain. She doesn't ask them how to summon Bartosz to do anything.
Yeah, the whole next episode, no one's like, hey, Bartosz, show us how to use this.
People are like, somewhere in the middle of that, people are like, oh, so-and-so's not picking up. I'm like, why not have that dialogue of trying to make an attempt as soon as she does it? I just don't understand.
It was weird.
Also, Bartosz kind of did show them how it works. Yeah. And the fact that she was they were like, we don't know idea. It's like, you might not know exactly how to use it. But something.
Hey, there's only two settings, forward and backward. So
I don't know. I shouldn't nitpick, but this was frustrating and weird. And maybe it was an interpretation thing. I don't know, but I doubt it.
It seems strange.
Yeah.
Franziska tells her parents about the time travel. Finally, everybody's communicating.
I did like that, although people are still split up like crazy.
She's like, yeah, but you guys already knew about this, she realizes, and she is not happy. Because that's most of Franziska's arc, is being upset at her parents. Meanwhile, Clausen, our favorite character, arrests Alex for identity theft because he is a short king. He is too short for his ID. So, proof.
I was just like, as I was watching this, I was like, this seems really circumstantial, but I guess the bureaucracy in Germany is just so perfect that there just could not be a typographical error, like someone's height on paperwork.
And clearly no one shrinks ever when they get to the age that Alex had.
No. Osteoporosis, not a thing in Germany.
It seems like Alex killed his brother, the real Alexander Kuhler. And Clausen has been on a search/vendetta ever since, either looking for the killer or his brother, if his brother is somewhere. Clausen received a tip a few months ago from an anonymous source, which led him to Vinden in the first place.
So I'm assuming it was Jonas.
It could be any of our traveling people.
Yeah.
It could be Hannah for all we know. Honestly, it really could be Hannah. They do what happens in Back to the Future, where they get a mail thing from 50 years in the past or whatever.
Yeah. Because that's the whole thing. Without Clausen's tip and him showing up in Vinden, they wouldn't have uncovered the reactor, which wouldn't have done apocalypse time.
Yeah, it could be Adam. It could be Claudia. Who knows?
Could have been Bartosz ratting out his own father.
Yeah. Oh, that's the most fucked up possible.
It is the most fucked up possible thing.
Unless it's just straight up Regina. And it might be I feel like Claudia would make the most sense.
Yeah, it seems like the most straightforward.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
All right. 208 is all you, babe.
Yes, it is. So the season 2 finale.
Woo woo. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, which is I like a lot about this episode, but I agree with you. It's a lot of putting puzzle pieces into place, and it takes a long time to get them all there.
I was a little bit frustrated with the pacing of this episode, but the endings where we ended up was all worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm like not mad at it.
Yeah.
But after episode 7, I was like, I felt a little bit stalled actually at the beginning and kind of middle of this episode. Yeah. Also, it's called Endings and Beginnings. And I remember looking at you and being like, we've had this title already. It's like, you said, no, we've had beginnings and endings. Guys, come on. A little bit of originality.
I'm surprised they've never used the beginning as the end as the beginning from Smashing Pumpkins.
They don't have that in Germany.
They have a lot more in Germany than I thought they did.
What do you mean?
Incest.
Yeah. I walked right into that, folks.
Also, speaking of music, the music's always great.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
yes.
Ooh,
oh my god. Yeah, I think I know what you're going to say.
208.
Yep.
My body is a cage.
Yep.
This is my favorite song.
Guys, you have no idea the saga of our relationship in relation to this song.
My body is a cage is when that started playing, I died. Because, yes, we already have like an inside joke about that song. And I guess the joke is that I sing it a lot.
Yeah, the joke is that one night, very early in our relationship, I think we were up late one night, like in your family's like finished basement. And we were like sharing musical tastes or something or trailers. And you were just like, this is like
the greatest song.
Yeah, I honestly think that you said that. And you were just like, I need you to hear this. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I like Dan's music taste. Like, he's listening to my stuff. And then this song plays. And it's like, yeah. And it's like nothing else that Dan has shown me or listened to or expressed interest in.
Oh my God,
and I'm just like,
perfect. It was so great when it started playing. I was so happy.
So when, because Dan watched episode 8 ahead of me, and my first viewing was his second viewing of this, he's staring at me when he knows it's about to play, and I think I don't even notice what first happens on the screen. I'm just like, oh my God, no wonder you like this episode this season.
Perfection.
You were so happy, and clearly he still is right now.
Still so happy. My body is a cage.
Where's that from that you even got so attached to it?
Funny story. A movie that I've never seen, John Carter, had that in its trailer.
Right.
And I didn't care about the trailer of John Carter, clearly because I didn't see it. But that song was in it, and I was like, what is that song? I must make it my own. Anyway.
Yeah. So whenever I start or end a sentence with like, my body, Dan just chimes in, my body is a cage. So thank you, Dark. You brought a couple some joy during these COVID times.
We've officially now talked about it like almost as long as we talked about the last episode.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, what's next?
We really like it.
Yes.
Where were we?
Oh, I don't think we started.
We didn't.
Yeah, okay. Recap 208.
All right. So Elizabeth is revealed to Charlotta's mother. We kind of touched on this in the previous podcast.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they're each other's mothers. They are each other's grandmothers and daughters and all of that. What the fuck, guys?
Wait, are they? They're their own.
Oh, they're their own grandmother.
I guess.
Yes.
And they're their own mother.
Yes. No.
No, they are their own mother. No, they're
not their own mother. That would insinuate that
each of them is each other's mother.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They are each other's. They are their own grandchild and grandparent.
Okay.
Yes.
okay, whatever way you look at it, it's weird.
Yeah.
And it's kind of awesome.
Yes, it is. And I guess the thing is, I'm like, was that what was on the pages? Like, I guess one of the things is I'm confused about what was actually on the pages, but
I think it was what part of what was on the pages is what happens to Charlotta.
That makes sense. All right, so
or maybe something like Noah needs to get to the bunker so that he can create Charlotta. Blah 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 blah. Charlotta then switches places. Like we get back to, we get to that later.
Yeah.
But.
So Jonas says old Claudia told him that they can change a small thing. So when he becomes middle-aged Jonas, his attempt to fix things will actually work this time.
Which we kind of talked about earlier.
Yes,
but it's confusing.
It's important to restate because this was finally the thing. Yeah.
She's a tricky trickster that tricks.
But that's the whole thing. It's like the thing that makes it so that no, this time it's supposed to work. And
at least they put that in there. That made me happy.
Yes.
And also, most fucked up thing possible, Jonas causes the apocalypse.
Of course he does.
Not even Adam, Jonas.
Jonas. Frickin' Jonas, yellow coat boy. All right. He puts the God particle into the radioactive material. Ta-da.
Which is also yellow. We haven't figured out the
themes,
the color stuff. Should we know that by now? Because I feel like we should. So if somebody wants to explain some of that to us, that'd be great.
Yellow is radioactivity. Red is blood. What other colors do we have? Blue is hope.
Blue is clue.
All right. I'm trying to take this seriously, but Jonas tells young or middle-aged Claudia that Adam wants to create a new world, but he and old Claudia want to save this one. Jonas opens the cave passage once more. He and Claudia go to the present, and he gives her the machine and says to take it to the bunker. Meanwhile, he needs to find his mom and Marta.
So, interesting thing about him opening up the cave portal. My question is, did he need to do that in order for the apocalypse event to happen? Or is he doing that specifically so Katarina can use it later, which she does? Or maybe it's both. But
until I learn otherwise, it's both.
It's interesting.
Although if someone has a definitive answer that we were supposed to understand from this episode, let us know.
Yeah.
Bartosz tells Regina that her mom is still alive, actually, and that she's sorry. Later on, 80s Claudia comes to Regina and brings her to the bunker. This is like sad and sweet.
Something I think I said to you during this episode was I feel like both versions of Regina were underutilized.
Yes.
I think she could be she's a solid character, but I just don't feel like we get enough of her.
Yeah. Always actress is really good, but it felt like we had a lot more development of her in season 1, and then they kind of like dropped that to have her just be like sick and worried. Yeah. Well, there's plenty of radiation in the future to treat her cancer.
Perfect.
Bad joke. Peter can't find Franziska or Charlotta, so he takes Elisabetta to the bunker. Middle-aged Jonas comes to Marta to save her. He says the apocalypse is his fault and a new cycle is about to begin. Marta is creeped out by him, so he takes her to the bunker at gunpoint. Woo!
Not a great episode for middle-aged Jonas. He's kind of gone off the deep end. He's kind of a creeper. You had some interesting points about like his like stunted development.
Yeah. He's lived his entire life from his teen years to now with the obsession of fixing it, setting it right. He hasn't really like developed new relationships.
He hasn't really lived.
No. It's all for her. It's all for the people of his past to give them a future again, to give himself hope.
Yeah. So he's still like, his mind is still the mind of modern Jonas. Yeah. And so that makes, beyond even
trauma plus obsession / fixation. So he's acting like a maniac.
Pretty creepy.
Yeah. Locking her in a bunker at gunpoint. Yeah. Oh, it's for your own good. Dude, what the hell?
Well, I mean, like, it was for her own good.
I know, but like, don't do it this way.
Marta doesn't listen, so what's she gonna do?
Yeah. Katarina breaks into Jonas's house again and takes his map. Middle-aged Jonas shows up and she asks him how to use the machine, but he says she can't save Mikkel because Jonas already exists and already has a future. He also says, it's too late for me. I will become Adam, but maybe I can stop Jonas from becoming me.
All right, so this made 0 sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this really is the part in the episode where we're like, So everyone's just doing stuff and none of it's going to work. And they keep trying. Jonas, the different versions of Jonas keep trying to convince themselves that this time this will work, even though it never friggin' does. And like that includes Adam.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I have no reason to believe that
Adam
isn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I also pointed out, I'm like, shouldn't there be an older than Adam version of Jonas? Like, does Adam know when Adam dies? Like, I don't know. We still are working with not enough information, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he keeps trying. I mean, I think that's kind of the point of the character of Jonas is that he keeps trying over and over again, banging his head against a wall, even though nothing he's doing is working.
No. Oh, no. This slight tweak is going to finally be the different one. It's like, but how do you know, though?
Yeah.
How do you know? You're taking her word for it, but like...
But it's just very...
How does she know?
It's just very weird and interesting that, like, middle-aged Jonas says this. He's like, it's too late for me. I'm going to become Adam because Adam exists. But also, you exist, so young Jonas is going to become you. Like, he doesn't follow his own logic.
No, I don't understand how this is supposed to work, and this is the issue with time travel.
The point of what he's trying to get across here is, I've already gone through too much. There's no saving me. Maybe if I save Marta, Jonas won't go down this path.
Yeah.
But, like, it's too late. You already exist.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you don't know enough about Adam's past to know how Marta is supposed to die.
Yeah.
Or what is supposed to happen to her in terms of like getting out of the bunk. Like you think she's just going to listen to you, but she didn't want to. So obviously she's going to leave. And obviously this is still destined to happen.
Yeah.
Like it's...
Well, no, but he knows Adam kills her.
Yes.
But he doesn't know when that she was coming from the bunker. Yeah. But it's just, he's just being silly.
Yeah.
Silly Yo-Yo.
Yeah. Middle-aged Jonas, your mind is starting to go.
He's having a crisis.
Is this technically like the ultimate midlife crisis? Yeah. Young Noah comes to middle-aged Jonas and gives him a letter from Marta. He says they become friends before Jonas betrays him. Great. Good for you guys.
Well, so is this betrayal? So did older Noah basically be like, he'll betray you, but also still have faith in him? Is the betrayal the reason why Noah, like, is it the current betrayal that we're seeing? Or is it a different betrayal? I don't know. It's a little confusing. This whole part's confusing.
I think it must be a different... Well, so does young Noah know that older Noah is going to die at the hands of his sister on the behalf?
No, he doesn't know that yet because the only thing he knows is what older Noah told him, and he hasn't done that yet.
Right, and older Noah hadn't done that yet. Yeah. Okay, right, you're right. This does make sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
Jonas is the savior of them all, so he must save Magnus, Franziska, and Barty, and later Noah and Agnes. The loop must be closed so the next cycle can begin, and so Marta can live. Middle-aged Jonas listens to him and saves Bartosz, Magnus, and Franziska. Young Noah then goes to the bunker.
All right. Yeah, a lot of getting people places. So the thing that's the most interesting to me about this is his shock about there being a thing from Marta does make me think that the end of this episode is something changing.
Yes.
It's like middle-aged Jonas has never seen another Marta.
Yes.
Is what it comes off like.
Because to me, his like search for a goal to bring Marta back is based purely off of there only being one. Yeah. And her being dead.
Yeah, I think. At least. That's what it comes off like. Because that's the thing is
we read it.
We finished this episode and go, okay, is this what always happened? Is that another Marta showed up? Or is this actually something changing? And I think it has to be something changing.
Yeah, that's where I kind of leave off thinking as well.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that Jonas saves this group of young Jonas's friends, it kind of lends credence to the idea of them like following him when they're in the past, like being his people.
The Adamites.
Yes, the travelers. Yes.
Yeah.
Adult Noah, feeling used, tries to kill Adam, but his gun jams. Agnes enters, takes the gun, and kills Noah. Adam says, "We are only free when we sacrifice what we hold most dear. The only way out of the knot is to destroy it all." So if Noah had stopped Charlotta from dying in the apocalypse, then Charlotta wouldn't exist at all because he and Elizabeth wouldn't have had her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I'm really excited to learn more about Agnes and Noah's past and all that. Like, because I don't get at all what's going on with Agnes right now. But
so another thing, Noah throws the pages at Adam.
Yeah.
And so does that mean that Adam now has new information finally that he didn't have before?
Or was the whole thing that he was sending Noah to get the pages because he knew that Noah would react that way and he knew Noah had to die that way at that time?
But how would he know that if he is the most future person?
What do you mean?
How did Adam know that Noah had to die that way?
I mean, who knows? Adam's Adam.
Right. Fair enough.
I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why I was saying Adam can't be the most future person because it's all happening at once.
Right.
So maybe he's talked to even older Adam.
But he's like 100.
Well, I mean, he could talk to an Adam for 5 weeks from now.
I guess you're right.
Because they have time travel any day of the week. Any time of the season. Season 1 or 2.
So we see Katerina using the caves to time travel.
Yeah, and interesting, again, given the fact that we're going into this parallel universe idea and theory, it seems like less interesting that she's time traveling than it would have been otherwise. But it'll be interesting to see where she goes and if the fact that she travels during the apocalyptic thing has any effect.
Matters.
Yeah.
Clausen, he gets a search warrant for the power plant so he can find evidence against Alex. Voller tells Charlotta about the radioactive waste, and she dashes to the power plant to stop the apocalyptic event.
It's all connected.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll say that 25 times.
Voller also, it's kind of like funny, he has his own like come to Jesus arc in this season. Like, didn't expect that to ever happen, but even you get something.
Yep.
Clausen drills into the nuclear waste. Charlotta tries to stop him, but it's too late. Things go boom, but Charlotta sees old Elizabeth and maybe goes to the future.
Yeah, so she sees the portal-y thing and she touches it and she's like, Mom, and they're like, oh my God, what's happening? But it's very reminiscent of when young Helga and Jonas saw each other through the little thing. And switch places. So does old Elizabeth die here, ending up in the present where the explosion happens, and then Charlotta ends up in the future? And did Elizabeth know this would happen and it's sacrificing herself to save her mom/daughter? Weird sentence.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't think Charlotta dies because I don't think they didn't kill off anyone we actually care about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting. I'm like, does Elizabeth even know that Charlotta is anything other than her mother?
It's unclear.
Yeah, and I'm like, that would be kind of screwed up too, because I'm like, how would they even find out if they're their own, Yeah.
I don't think she does because Noah didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. Marta leaves the bunker and runs into Jonas. Well, young Jonas / her Jonas, slightly traumatized Jonas, but still.
The first time she's really seeing him again since he disappeared.
Yes.
Since the rain. That day in the rain. I understand everything now.
They kiss, but then Adam kills Marta.
Bam, bam, bam.
Oh my God.
The worst possible thing.
Yeah. Oh no, all of this happened because I was traumatized by losing Marta. I am the one who made me lose Marta. The frick.
Jonas.
He says the apocalypse has to happen to create the dark matter so he can end everything. Marta bleeds out in Jonas's arms.
Yeah.
Fucked up thing. Yeah. Slogan of the show. All of a sudden, alternative Marta, or alt Marta as actually you put it, appears to Jonas.
We could call her Farta.
What? A fake Marta?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. Appears to Jonas and says, I'm not who you think I am. She uses a weird device to save Jonas, and she's not from a different time, but from a different world.
All right. So, a lot of things to say here. Different world definitely implies parallel universes. Adam's whole plan is to find the universe where
time doesn't matter.
Where, I don't know, everything works out for the best. I don't know. I'm wondering if this ties into the whole cycle thing, because I still don't understand what cycles are all about. I'm definitely at confusion point here.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see. I mean, the thing that's interesting is that, like, in the pilot, when we talked about the deja vu thing, we straight up were like, parallel universes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not, like, shocked in any way about this, but I am
Right.
excited that we're getting there finally.
Yeah.
Do you think that eventually Jonas is going to find a Marta that isn't his aunt? And also, would that be satisfying, or does it need to be his Marta?
I don't know how he can have a Marta who isn't his aunt. Because then he wouldn't be Jonas.
Yeah, even in an alternate reality.
Mm-hmm. Then she wouldn't be...
Well, he could not exist.
But he himself still exists.
No, I'm saying, like, in her reality, he might have never existed.
That doesn't matter. She's still his aunt.
Technically, she isn't. I don't know. That's weird.
He is still the product, no matter what.
Yeah.
He is the product of
her
Mikkel
parents
and Hannah.
Yeah.
And Mikkel is her brother.
I guess.
Then
parallel
she
universes. I don't know.
I mean, you could have a doppelganger who is like a second cousin twice removed somehow.
Yeah.
Create like, and it's like, oh, it's still somewhere they're related, but it's not as icky as an aunt and a nephew.
Yeah.
But
okay,
like,
well then let's go to the second question,
mm-hmm.
which is, assuming that this Marta is dead, is it satisfying if he ends up with not our Marta?
No.
I think they need to find a way to save our Marta. But
Yeah.
we don't know what their like rules of parallel universes are at all yet. So
No, we don't. I don't know.
It's about to get whack up in here.
That's the thing. Like, I'm a little hesitant to really theorize what...
Because we don't know shit.
Yeah, like, they completely upended the rule book. And given how many characters were dropped in season 2, I don't even know who we're gonna see in season 3. Like you said, like
Magnus and Franziska and Bartosz, I think, are for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But like, how important is Ulrich? How important is Hannah? How important is Katarina? I think Regina and Claudia are gonna be important.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if Regina and Claudia aren't as important. Because I feel like...
Right, because we wrapped up Claudia.
Old Claudia's whole thing was to get things in the position so that she could save Regina and bring her to the bunker, which she's now succeeded in doing and has also died.
You're right. So, but that might not be very important.
Yeah.
So...
But Agnes is going to be more important, I would assume.
Yes, I really hope so. I really like her. I want to see more of her.
I think Hannah will be gone for a while.
Interesting.
Because I think it will be like, oh, we don't know what's going on with her, and then it'll be revealed.
I think Charlotta's going to be important.
Yeah, I think so too. They made such a big deal out of all
that.
But she also might be gone so that we think she's dead.
Maybe.
You know?
I don't know what we're going to do in season 3. Oh, was the machine that Marta used? I feel like we saw that on the blueprints in Adam's bunker.
I wasn't paying close enough attention at that point because I was just like, oh, look, it's the stuff for the time machine. Maybe.
Possible. I think I saw something like circular that in his drawings.
It's just interesting. Like, I'm almost wondering if Adam even knows about the parallel universes, because middle-aged Jonas doesn't seem to. I don't know. It's confusing, but we shall see.
Well, Claudia seems to know about them.
Yeah, that's
true. And now old Adam, even if he had the theory and was like trying to design something, but now he's got confirmation by having those pages.
Mm-hmm. Who's to say? Who is to say?
On that note,
and what is a cycle? Can I understand that, please?
Are we supposed to know that by now?
I really don't know, but we'll find out.
Can someone tell us what we are supposed to know at this point?
I think
just across the board.
I think that girl from the future is from another world, and that's why we don't know who she is yet, because they didn't want to reveal that. I think girl from the future is Jonas and Marta's daughter.
She looks a lot like Marta.
I'm sticking with that theory. Maybe from a different world or whatever, but...
Maybe. But then that would... that would lead us to believe that she / Adam does know about the existence of the multiverse.
I mean, it could be a thing. Like Charlotta didn't know who her parents were. Like,
so who brought her there?
We don't know. Maybe she got there through a weird wormhole or something.
Or she was placed there the same way like Marta's allowed to travel, so someone placed her there so that then she could save Jonas and send Jonas through to...
Who friggin' knows? Who knows?
I mean, you know who knows? All the people who watch season 3.
We shall know someday.
We'll join you someday.
Yes.
Okay, speaking of people who know what's going to happen, we have reached our little bit of feedback section.
Itty bitty feedback.
If you want to send us feedback, drop a comment down below on YouTube, tweet at us at DoingOK.
Video.
And DoingOK video. I know our Twitter handle.
I know how to say Twittier.
It is very late and I've lost the grasp of language.
Also, email us at ourpodcastfeedback@gmail.com. Okay, read this.
Getting there.
thing.
Anyway, so from at Ivana2804 via Twitter, having finished season 2, what are your 1, top characters in seasons 1 through 2? 2, top episodes of season 1 through 2? What do you expect from season 3? We kind of touched on that. And what do you hope for characters? What do you hope for? Characters to see more of, etc.
Okay.
All right.
So, favorite characters from seasons 1 and 2. Ulrich for sure.
Ulrich.
I like middle-aged Jonas. He's creepy.
I don't think I can say I like him, but he's...
Well, favorite characters doesn't have to mean you like them. I enjoy watching middle-aged Jonas consistently.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it weird to say Hannah is one of my favorite characters?
I mean, yeah.
I think she's like fun to watch and fun to hate.
That's true. You never know what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
Claudia's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like I think I didn't really know like all iterations of Claudia. I didn't really know where we were going with them.
I definitely like old version the most.
Yeah. When she like pops up, and I mean her scene with Egon was really like when she goes back to see her dad in middle age, like that was really touching.
Yeah. I finally got on board with Egon this season. I feel bad for him.
I do too. Yeah. I feel like we kind of skated over talking about him and his death.
Yeah, that's true. We did.
It was tragic. Like I feel bad for him. I was still like, frustrated by the journey there because like we know he doesn't succeed in doing anything, changing anything, but nonetheless like he finally is like time travel, it's a thing, this is happening, and then like his daughter and him have that like blow up confrontation and he's dying and betrayed and lost, and it's just like
I like old Egon by the end, especially once we know why he hates Ulrich so much. Of the kids, I mean, I think that overall, young Jonas is interesting. Oh yeah, and especially in this back half. Like it's season 2. Jonas is my definitely. I like him more than season 1.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying Marta's performance quite a bit. I still wish that they gave her a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I really know the kids that well.
Yeah.
Like, who is Magnus beyond creeping on Franziska and being angry?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know that much.
Is Tall a personality?
I'm excited to see old Magnus, actually.
Yeah.
And see how that progresses.
That was another really great casting choice. I really feel like those actors look alike.
Noah. Noah is one of my favorite characters.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. His journey actually worked out really, really nicely.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I did not expect that from season 1.
Correct. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, I really wasn't a fan of season 1. Noah. He seemed very flat overall.
Like I mentioned, I really liked the performance of Michael. And not just the performance, but like the character.
Yeah.
It was good to see. Like, so I guess I like the story of Mikkel. I think to me it was drawn out. The past stuff we might have had a little bit more than I needed, but overall I think his story is really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Helga in season 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
I liked which Helga? Middle-aged. I liked elderly Helga.
I kind of liked all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid Helga was
good too.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel
does
like
that answer your question?
I feel like I'm gonna like Agnes because I like what
Oh,
we've seen so
Oh,
far.
I think I'm going to like Agnes a lot.
But we don't
Yeah,
really know her quite well enough yet.
Yeah. All right. So as for favorite episode, season 2, episode 6.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of other ones that really stood out. I do think it was fun when we first went back to the 50s and Ulrich
was like running around there.
And when he like bashed in Helga's head.
Yeah.
I feel like we were negative during that episode, which
I think
we shouldn't
were.
have been.
I think a lot of, as I think back about it, I think a lot of the episodes we were negative on were the ones where we're like, well, this doesn't work. We know you don't succeed in whatever it is you're trying to do. So I'm being critical of that. And it's like, because my enjoyment is hampered.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing was that it felt in the moment like it was too much. It was like, oh, another whole set of characters. We're still like not even totally invested in the other people. But I think season 2 is a lot better than season 1, personally. I will say, honestly, the pilot, one of my favorite episodes.
The pilot is really good.
Yeah. I like the one where the play happens.
Yes.
And Marta gives the performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the other episode I really liked was season 2, episode 4. It was The Travelers. And that's where Jonas is like being brought in more to the fold of the Travelers.
When you get the Adam reveal.
Yeah. And where the kids are all kind of like getting on the same page and adults, I think. That's the episode where Katerina finds out that Mikkel is Michael, I think. And that was like bonkers, and Hannah's the one who brought her. Like, that was a really good episode.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I agree with that.
I like the teams forming in that.
Yeah. No, definitely some good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as for just in general, my hopes for season 3 is just that it makes sense. And I know that that's like a relative term because they can just make up whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I really
they make rules that make sense that we can follow and that they follow that we,
Yeah. They just have like an internal logic.
Which I'm hopeful for, because I mean that's part of the reason I've stuck with this and why we got into it in the first place is people seem pretty happy by the end of this series.
Yeah.
So I guess I should be a little nervous because I'm expecting everything to be good. But that doesn't mean I will, just because other people thought it was good doesn't mean I will definitely agree. But I hope so.
My hopes are high for season 3. But I mean, the problems that the show faces, in my opinion, are like, it has a lot of monologues that have the pseudo science narrative, pseudo philosophy,
a little involved with itself.
A little up its own ass.
Yeah. I just want as much incest as possible.
Oh my God, you'll get your wish. Okay? You'll get your wish. It's the show. It is a person has to find out that she's her own mother or grandmother, whatever the hell it is that we decided. You know what I really want? I want the mystery of the colors to be solved. Tell me why yellow is his color. What about Jonas's neon yellow?
I definitely want to know more about Agnes. I wouldn't be shocked if Hannah was Agnes's mother.
How?
I wouldn't be shocked. Time travel.
Oh,
anything
God.
can happen.
So that also means that Jonas would be his own. If Jonas's mom is what?
No, don't try to think about it.
If Jonas's
it's too late. My favorite episode is any time that Franziska's not wearing a shirt.
She may be playing a teenager, but she's an adult woman, guys. Like, please don't be mad at us. No, any episode I like is one where Franziska successfully keeps her shirt. You know what I want out of season 3? I want that middle-aged Franziska to be like, I'm staying in character, titties out.
That's my fave. That's
all right. Thing. On that note,
all right. It is like legitimately like almost.
It's like almost 1 a.m.
All right.
Why did we do this to ourselves?
Because we're really bad at time management.
Oh God.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will hopefully be back Thursday with 301 and 302. Send us feedback.
Explain what we missed.
Yes, I'm sure we missed a lot.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the future.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo. My body is a
cage.